What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Today I wanted to go through kind of like the fundamentals of how to ride. You know, maybe you haven't taken your MSF, maybe you're looking up stuff to, get ahead so you're familiarized, but today that's what I'm going to show you, and we're going to go over switching gears. So, motorcycles have a sequential gearbox, and this is your shifter. It's a toe shifter, right? So what it is you press down once for first, and then the rest of the gears are up. It could be 4 gears, 5 gears, 6 gears, but it's always one down and then the rest up. And then neutral is in between first and second. So what you're going to do is, we can do this with the bike off. When you're starting, right, to go, boom, one click down and you're in first. And then I've heard people say it a ton of different ways, but I always think of it as, if neutral is in between first and second, right, you have to go through a full click from first to second, a full click from second to third, and then another full click from third to fourth, and so on. So what I've always thought about it is, and the way I was taught, was that neutral is half a click up from first. So you just pull on it really gentle, you feel a tiny little click, and boom, you're in neutral. And now let's get on the bike real quick. Let's make sure that we're in neutral. Boom. We can free roll, so that means that we are in neutral. The other way to tell is, on a lot of bikes, there's a gear indicator or a neutral light. Right, so let's see. With the bike off, I'm going to click us... Oh, gotta roll a little bit. I'm going to click us down into first, and then we're in gear. So a little half click up and we're neutral, and you can do the same if you're in second, right? So now we're in second. I hope you guys can see that. Now we're in second, and I'm going to do a half a click down, and we're in neutral. And that's essentially the way it works. And that's how you find neutral. Pretty easy. Now the hardest part is starting. If you can start off, then you can get through the rest of the gears just fine. So what you're going to do is pull on the clutch, start the bike, pop it into first. Keep the clutch remained in. This is what will give power and cut power to the motor, right? This will, you can add power with the throttle, but with this engaged, nothing's going anywhere. So what you're going to want to do is just slowly release until you start rolling, right? That's the grab point, right? I don't know why I'm so out of breath. It's kind of warm. It was cold this morning, but I put on layers and now I'm kind of warm. But so what you're going to do is, you find that grab point and you're rolling. Right now, this is literally all the bike doing its thing. And then what you want to do is, once you feel it roll, add a little bit of throttle until you're moving. So I'm going to let it go, feel it moving. I'm going to add throttle, ever so slightly, and we're off. And then now, you're going, you're moving, and you want to switch gears, right? Clutch in, shift up, clutch out, throttle on. Boom. One thing I forgot was, you have to throttle off, right? So let's try this again. Okay, so what you're going to do is, you're going to release until you start going, add throttle, now you're going. What you're going to do is throttle off, clutch in, shift up, clutch out, and throttle on. And then you're going. And it's the same way for all the gears. Same way. But yeah, it's honestly that easy. It takes a little bit of finesse, I don't know if you could see it, but I'm not whacking the throttle. I'm just slowly adding more, and you'll feel it start to go faster, right? So here we go. I can add more, and I'm going a little faster, and boom. You don't want to whack it, because if you whack it, you're gonna, while you're letting out the clutch, you're gonna dump the clutch, and it's just gonna go whoop. And when you get into the bigger bikes, that's where throttle control and clutch control really comes in handy. But, so yeah, that's all it is, man. And then we're come to a stop, half a clip up into neutral, and boom, you're done. we can go through it one more time. So we're in neutral. Another way to check if you don't have a indicator is if you're able to push the bike forward without pulling in the clutch. So I'll show you what I mean. So now we're in first, right? I try to roll it forward and I stop. I try to roll it back and I stop. You're stuck in gear. Nothing you can do about it. Boom, and we're free. Just like that. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to. I know I was definitely having a hard time finding neutral because it can be, it's ever so slight of a click, right? You know, you don't want to jam it up because you're just going to go into the next gear. You just want to do a little half click, and it's not as pronounced. So when you're switching in between like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, you really feel the click. When going into neutral, it's like a little tiny baby click, right in between the gears. And once you find it, you know, you're golden. But before we finish off here, let's go one more time, rolling through. So right now, click down into first, clutch in, slowly release the clutch. I feel it, right? This is my point. I'm not even using throttle yet. This is all just the clutch. And I can slowly add on throttle to go faster. And then now we're going to switch into second. So what we're going to do is throttle off and then clutch in and then shift up. So ready? Throttle off, clutch in, shift up, clutch out, throttle on. It's kind of quick, and then like it's hard to explain while doing it because it feels choppy on the bike, because usually, you know, when you're actually shifting, you're thinking about all the things that I'm saying. So like ready, you know, or hey, we're going to slow down. It's the same stuff. So we're slowing down, throttle off, clutch in, shift down, clutch out, throttle on. And now we're down back into first. So all of that, and you're good. So I'll show you the way. It's just, it doesn't take this long, right, to shift. Literally all it is just, and you're in the second gear. You do them quick, right? Because you can. At first it's going to be slow because, you know, you're finessing the clutch, but it is, if you have the drive or the, oh, come on. Just grabbed a chunk of front brake because I couldn't find neutral for a moment. But if you're so nervous about switching gears, it's honestly one of the easiest things to do, you know. And they'll teach you that in your MSF course. In the MSF, essentially, what they have you do for a while is you just roll forward and stop. You just roll forward and stop. You're not releasing the clutch fully, you're playing with the clutch, right? So right now, the clutch is engaged, we're moving, but I still have the clutch half pulled in, right? Or half let out. It's not fully released. So that's what they're going to have you do, and it's so easy, and it's, you know, well, if you've never done it, it can be kind of intimidating, but once you get the hang of it, it's like, you know, muscle memory. But yeah, I think, and then you just put those things into practice, right? So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm still playing with the clutch this whole time, right? And we're gonna go right, slowly letting out the clutch and adding throttle. And now we're getting ready to shift, do all those things we talked about before, and you're good to go. You're done. That's the process of shifting, and boom, you're into third. Just remember, you gotta throttle off, pull in the clutch, and then shift up if you're trying to go into the next gear. And then same process, but if you're shifting down a gear because you're slowing down, instead of hitting it up, you hit the shifter down, and that's it. And then you're just cruising. You know, watch the RPMs. You know, modulate your speed so you're not going crazy. You don't have to whack the throttle because, you know, oh, that's no fun. You know, if you're just on off, you got to be really gentle with it. Not like, oh no, it's like super, super fragile. On the bigger bikes, the throttle is more sensitive, so yeah, you gotta be pretty careful. But on smaller bikes like this, like part of what makes it a great beginner bike is you can add a little bit more and, it's nothing bad's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, nothing bad is gonna happen. So like here, I'm slowing down, and because I'm slowing down, I'm not just gonna... You can click through a couple of the gears, just as long as you keep your clutch hand engaged the whole time. It's okay to skip gears, especially if you're slowing down. Another way you can slow down is by, downshifting and rev matching and letting the engine do all the braking. Up to you. I like to mostly try and use my brakes just because that indicates the brake light. And lets people know I'm slowing down. But other than that, that's all there is to it, man. Riding bikes is all mental, right? It's people set up roadblocks in their heads that prevent them or make them think that riding is so hard, and it's not. The hard part is the fear of getting into an accident, because obviously it's a little wet out and I'm on pavement, so, and we're going 34 miles an hour to pavement. That's not that fun. But they'll teach you so much if you take the MSF. That's why I strongly suggest taking the MSF, because it's not just about, it's an easy way to take the test, which it is, but they teach you everything you need to know, and without that, you're screwed, because I'm pretty sure if you just go to the DMV, you have to bring your own bike, right, and then you just have to take the test. You have to do all of the tests without messing up. And that's so difficult if you've never been on a bike, and if you don't really know what you're doing. You're gonna stall, you're gonna drop the bike. Like, these things happen. That's why you take an MSF course. They provide you a bike. You learn on that bike. You take the test on that bike, and it's all done in. Most places offer 2 days of classes. So, you spend some time in the classroom, and you spend some time on the range is what they call it, but sometime on bikes. Or you can do a 3-day class, which is what I did. My first day was all in the classroom, and then the second and third days we were all out on bikes, doing our thing. So if it's something that you really want to do, just do it. And if you find out in the class that you don't like it, then that's fine. You don't have to like it. It might not be for you, which is fine. But I wouldn't... this is the thing that I hate about the center punch. But I wouldn't necessarily not do it because you're afraid of, like, messing up. That's what the MSF is for, People drop bikes all of the time. Hell, in my class, 3 people drop bikes a couple of times. Everybody dropped the bike once. Or not everybody, but a good chunk of the students, they dropped the bike. Some people dropped it more than once. Everybody stalled at least once. So you're there to learn, right? That's what it's set up for. It's set up for either A, you're an experienced rider and you're just trying to hone your skills on the basics, or B, you're a new rider, brand new rider, which is usually most of the time, you're a brand new rider and you're trying to learn and be able to get your motorcycle endorsement and then be on a motorcycle. So don't worry about that. It'll be so easy peasy. And then you can just get out and get on a bike. So I took my MSF in March of 22, And I got the bike. I took it end of March of it took it end of March of 2022. I think I got the bike middle of May, beginning of May maybe, and then yeah, I've just been riding. Like it's just that easy, you know. So there's nothing stopping you, right? You are going to be your own worst enemy in that class, and that is it. Like, the instructors are there to help you. Even classmates, if classmates can lend a helping hand. There are a bunch of guys like the reason why I say not to get so freaked out is because when I went in there, I had, experience from the dirt, but that was it. And I hadn't ridden a dirt bike in like 6 or 7 years. I had guys that were on bikes, rode all the time, and one of the guys in particular, he was in his head about going through the course, and he dropped out because he was too freaked out, or he was getting too frustrated. He dropped out. And this guy was already riding a motorcycle, Another guy, unfortunately, he was doing great all of class, and then during the test, he dropped the bike, and that's a fail, So just get out of your own head about it. Be in the mindset, if you're going soon, be in the mindset of you're there to have fun and you're there to learn. If you focus too much about, I gotta do it right, I gotta be perfect, you're gonna make mistakes because you're too hyper-focused on something that you have no idea what to do, so you're already going to make a mistake, but then that mistake is going to get in your head. You're going to make more mistakes because you can't just focus on the task, right? Because it's essentially very simple, right? It's basic mechanics. So anybody can ride. It's just do you have the willingness to learn how to ride, right? But with that said, I would love if you guys could like, comment, subscribe. We're at the end of the video here, so if you've made it all the way, I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Like I was saying, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what other kind of things you guys want to see. Are you taking an MSF course soon? Did you already take it? Are you thinking about taking it? But anyway, until next time, ride safe. I'll see you later.